All right, we are here on Doug's Den with a very special edition of Doug's Den. Please welcome Mr. Ken Goldin, the founder of Goldin Auctions. Ken, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, it's our pleasure. I've been wanting to have some interviews on the show and everything. And when I heard about Goldin Auctions, and especially with your new relationship with the Chernin Group and what you've been doing, this just seems to be a perfect opportunity. So for those that don't know, you run Goldin Auctions, which is an auction site, and it's mainly sports memorabilia, right?
Yeah, I'd say about 95% of what we sell is sports collectibles.
And that's everything from cards to boxing gloves, everything.
We'll sell everything from a $399 Derek Jeter autographed baseball to a $4 million basketball or baseball card.
Wow. And that's and I'm just getting back into the sports card hobby myself. Obviously, the sports card the whole hobby is blowing up right now. And obviously, we have the Goldin Auctions from right before the Super Bowl, where Mahomes' card went for $870,000, I think.
Yep, like $866,000. Yeah, crazy.
Wow. Yeah, and so it's just been blowing up. How has that, with the sports card industry, how has that changed, or how has that moved Goldin Auctions?
It's been incredible for us at Goldin Auctions. I mean, we legitimately, I feel like every month our business is doubling. Our user base is exploding. We are having bidders from all over the world, from not just in the United States and North America, from China, from Asia, from the Philippines, from Russia, from Germany, from Denmark, from Africa, from Australia, all over the place. And really this, to put it in perspective, in 2019 we had 27 million in sales. In 2020 we had 103 million. When this month is over, I would have done 75 million already in the first 2 months.
Wow.
So through the end of through the first week of March. So it is just absolutely exploding. As I'm telling people, trading cards have become cool all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since I was 12 years old, and I was always like doing it in my basement, kind of hiding the fact I did this, and now it's cool. I've got celebrities and athletes and Silicon investors who want to ask me what they should buy and put money into my company.
Yeah, and absolutely. Well, and that's, I think that you hit on it right there. It's so much to it rather than just holding a box of cards. There's athletes involved. There's athletes that are buying their own cards as investments. There's athletes that are investing into auction houses for that. And so like you said, it's no longer kids holding on just a box of cards. There's so much more involved to it. And going off of what you mentioned there, with so many other people asking you for your advice and what to buy and everything, I get probably not as many messages, but on a such smaller scale, where I have so many people asking me, I'm interested. I want to get back into sports cards. I want to get back into it. It's older people that got into it when they were younger. They want to get back into it. And it's a new generation of kids that, they grew up with Pokemon, but they're not really big into sports cards. They want to get into it. So it's just, I can't imagine the volume that you get from people asking for your advice. And now, going into that, what is your advice when you have people calling in? Because I imagine it's not just collectors, but it's also investors.
Sure. So the first thing I tell people is, if you're in this for fun and you want to have fun, and you want to collect what you like, then collect what you like. If you're in this for money, collect and buy what other people like. And that is, you have to, I believe in going safety. I believe, I look at trading cards kind of like stocks. I want to be buying the Amazons, the Googles, the Netflix, the Microsofts, the companies that are in the cutting edge. That people around the world are going to want to own their stock. So in sports cards, first thing I look at, okay, international or US only. So if I want to go international, I go basketball. Okay, and if I want to go basketball, you start with the big three. The big three are Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
If you stick to those three and do not buy anybody else, you're going to do fine. Okay. You then look at guys like Kevin Durant, who recently invested in Goldin Auctions, Steph Curry, guys like that, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, getting a little older. those are names that are tried and true. You can look at younger players. We have a bunch of amazing younger players in basketball right now. Obviously, Zion Williamson and Luka Doncic come to the forefront, but a Luka card just sold for $4.6 million just 3 days ago.
Wild.
And I know both the guys. I've done like $10 million plus transactions, over the past couple of years with both of those individuals involved in that deal. And, good for them, more power for them. But it just shows you that when you have a one-of-a-kind card of a generational player, or somebody people believe is a generational player, it can go for $2 million or it can go for $15 million. It doesn't matter because it's the only one that exists. So, I say stay with the trends. If you want international, go soccer. When I grew up, when I collected cards, there wasn't even any soccer cards. I mean, no. When I started Goldin Auctions in 2012, soccer was literally not in our radar. I don't think there was a single soccer item in like the first 2 years worth of auctions. Right now, soccer has overtaken hockey as the fourth most collectible sport in trading cards. But if you take out Mahomes and Brady from football, soccer is third behind basketball and baseball. So, and that's only going to grow as the international audience grows. So you want to really look at making sure you're getting the top players. You want to get the top brands. And here's the other thing. Spend as much money as you can afford. Go for quality. Don't, you want, if you can afford to buy a card in an 8, but you're thinking of buying the one that's graded a 5, go for the 8. I'm not telling anybody to overspend, but spend as much as you can on quality, the quality brand, quality player, and quality grade.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear that, because that's not to that extent. Obviously, I don't have the knowledge to that extent, but the first when people ask me hey, what should I do? That is the first thing I ask is, do you want to invest or do you want to collect?
Yep.
Because they're asking, hey, what kind of brands, what kind of cars, like what should I collect, what should I buy? And it's, well, if you want to collect them, it's very simple. Yep. Whatever card you think looks cool, it doesn't matter, you're not in a certain price range or anything. Hey, just whatever you want to buy, you're collecting. With investing, I mean, we talked about the Mahomes card, you brought up the Luka. I'm on my side, I see that like with Mahomes, I think it was like a 1 of 5, the one that sold for.
It was a 1 of 1 logo, man. It was the NT, which stands for National Treasures, which is the flagship brand of Panini. It's their most popular and most sought after brand, and it is the number 1 card, limited to only 1 in the world, from their number 1 brand.
Yeah, so that's the top of the top of the top, the zenith for sure. And so when it comes to that, you mentioned it's the supply for it and everything, the quality of it. I believe it was it was rated a 9, I believe.
It was actually not even graded. It was ungraded, which is
really
unusual. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I look at that, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I don't like to spend a whole bunch of money. I look at that and I go, okay, Mahomes cards going for $866,000. But then obviously it's a 1 of 1. But then I see like a Brady rookie card. Brady at the time, this is before the Super Bowl, had 6 Super Bowl rings. And I think, okay, well, how many of the Bowman Bradys are there out there? But even then, I think it was going for like $20,000-$30,000 or so for
pre-Super Bowl.
Yeah, pre-Super Bowl, exactly. But when he had 6. And in my head, I'm thinking, how many Brady rookies can I, buy for that amount for the Mahomes card? And just the price differential between those two. But you're again, it's 1 of 1. And so that goes to, what you were talking about there. When someone, what advice would you give me on that? As far as again, in the back of my head, I can't get over the fact, man, Mahomes might not play next season. Obviously he will and everything, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking Brady now has 7, but at the time he had 6 Super Bowl rings. He was going to play for his 7th. Mahomes had 1, going for his 2nd, but Brady is, he's been in the league for 20 years and he already has that. You just don't know what's going to happen with Mahomes in the future. So, in that sense, where does that play as far as not knowing, what might happen next season? And, with talking about like generational with Luka and everything, where he might be the next, or he might be the generational player, but we don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I'm not sure
I
if
think
that's
I think it's risky. I think the 4.6 million on Luka is risky. He certainly could have a career threatening injury. Mahomes, I think he's going to win multiple Super Bowls, but he could be stuck at one. Brady's the GOAT. I mean,
yeah,
hell, it's Tom Brady. Come on. So I like to. I personally would not have purchased either of those cards. If I wanted to put 4.6 million into something, I would have gone out and I would have found the best LeBron James exquisite card or logo man, one of one, that I could have put my money into, and I would have bought that, because I think
yeah,
that is I think it's a safer option. I think it's a better option. But you can't account for taste. I mean, look, if somebody's worth $250 million and they want to spend $4 million on a basketball card, they can do whatever the heck they want,
yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
but I also think when you look at this stuff, there are more people that can afford a $5,000 card and a $20,000 card than a $200,000 card and a $500,000 card or a $5 million card. So the theory of going out and saying, yes, would I be better off buying 43 of that 20,000 Tom Brady rookie card in a PSA 10? If you can find 43 of them,
yeah,
I think, you would. And obviously now with the outcome of the Super Bowl, you would have been, because those cards have skyrocketed. Although I will tell you, there is a Tom Brady card called the Playoff Contenders Championship
mhm.
ticket that's limited to 100. We have one coming up in our next auction. It's graded an 8.5. We expect that to go close to $2 million. So
Wow.
the old man will get his due. Believe me, he'll come back and he'll have the all-time record for the most expensive football card, no problem.
You mentioned earlier that you started in 2012.
Sure. So I started Goldin Auctions in 2012, and we are now the world's largest sports auction house. I tell people, I like to tell people, I can push a button and I can email 600,000 people at a time. I've recently got on social media myself at Ken Goldin at both Instagram and Twitter, and of course at Goldin Auctions, and we have a lot of informative things. We do a lot of question and answer sessions, a lot of talking about the values of cards, obviously learning about the different grades, what makes a card valuable, different transactions. And at Goldin Auctions, we are running 2 auctions every month. We've got one, it's running right now. Probably we'll do over 30 million in sales for the one auction. So it's I never expected this. I'll be honest. When I started this business, came up with the idea in 2011. I told my wife, if I can somehow manage to get this business where we can do $10 million a year in sales, I'll live a comfortable life, and I'll retire when I want to retire. I didn't think I'd be, partners with the Chernin Group and Mark Cuban and Dwayne Wade, and people want to interview me all day long, and athletes want to ask me advice, and get a text from a famous celebrity saying, "Hey, what should I do? Are you free?" Or last weekend I was on Logan Paul's YouTube
Impulsive.
podcast, and we
Yeah.
busted open $1 million box of Pokemon.
The
So
first, oh yeah, the first edition box. Yeah.
first edition, of course, and we pulled 2 Charizards.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's a real exciting time. It's an exciting time to be in the business, and what I like about it is I can look at the data and I see we are really just beginning.
And that's it. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you mentioned that, especially this going into it. I've been into it for a few years now, and it's skyrocketed. It's been on an upward trend for the last couple of years, but now it feels like it's really taking off. And so where do you think, do you think at any point this is going to, kind of stabilize, or do you think the prices are just going to keep going up and up and up?
I think it's going to stabilize. I mean, I think, what we have right now is we just have the old, supply versus demand. The demand is so much greater than the supply. It's impossible for the supply of new product to catch up. And as you know, you can't go back in time and hop in a time machine and create more product from 1996, Kobe's rookie year, or 2009, the Trout, Bowman Chrome rookie. You just can't go back and reproduce iconic product like that. So that product will always go up. I think at some point there'll be some stabilization where You won't buy something on a Monday and it's worth 20% more on a Friday, which is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I think that the industry is in for a nice, long, multi-year run where the collector base from not only the United States, but all around the world just continues to grow. I don't know how long it can stay in the absolute manic phase it is right now. I know that my wife would hope that manic phase ends soon. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think that it is really become an alternative investment with people all around the world. I know that the people outside the United States can't get product. That has to be taken care of. I know there's a lot of mutual funds and hedge funds that are now into it. A lot of athletes. Ray Allen just went out and spent like a couple $100,000 buying some of his own cards and showed them on Instagram. So I think that that's going to continue to populate. And 5-6 years from now, we're going to look back and probably say, 2020 and 2021 is when I should have been buying, and I should have put it away for 5 years.
Exactly, and that's where I've come to the conclusion that, because again, seeing it go up, I was looking at a Deion Sanders score rookie, PSA 10, maybe about a year ago. It was $250, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay that. Now they're going easily for $1,500,
Yep.
and it's and in my head I'm thinking, oh, okay, well I'll just wait for them to come back down. And it's like, you're afraid that you've missed the mark. You've already missed the chance to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But then who knows where it's going to be in a year from now? And now really is still the time to get in.
Exactly, especially when, on some of the cards I like from the 1980s, where people felt, well, they made so many of them that they can never go up. Well, now they're really going up. Like the Joe Montana rookie in a PSA 10, you could still buy for under 100,000. And there's less of those than there are Michael Jordan rookies. Yet the Michael Jordan rookie is, bouncing around between $600,000 and $725,000. So there is still a lot of opportunity in the legends that, it's the other thing. It's not like, okay, who's going to win the game? Is Michigan State going to win, or is Michigan? And you have to take a guess. With trading cards, who the all-time greats are. I mean, it makes sense in football that people are going to want a John Elway rookie. People are going to want a Walter Payton rookie. They're going to want Emmitt Smith. They're going to want Joe Montana. It's just, if you know sports, you can do really well in this.
Absolutely. Well, Ken, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for the information. I'll definitely follow you on Twitter. I can't wait to see all the future auctions. I'm sure Goldin Auctions is gonna really blow up this year. And of course, I have to ask. We're going to be it's for the Barstool Fund. Well, I'll be sending a card your way in order to hopefully get on Goldin Auctions. It is from the Obsidian set this year. It's a Derrick Henry card. Of course, he hit the 2,000 mark this year. And through Barstool, we have Bussin' with the Boys out in Nashville. And I got a Derrick Henry, got nice silver Sharpie auto on it. And we're looking to auction that off for the Barstool Fund. So hopefully we'll see that on Goldin Auctions soon.
I'd love to get on Goldin Auctions. And actually, when I closed my deal the last week of December and you guys started the fund, I made a $10,000 contribution to the fund. So I think you guys are doing a tremendous job. And any way we can help you with that, we're happy to do so.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time, Ken.
Thank you. Glad to be here.